Okay, good morning. Good morning, all students. Welcome back to our social science history class. Then, how are you? I hope that you are fine and safe at your home. Then, don't you study? Last class homework, very important homework, the reforms of the Harun al-Rashid. I hope that you all are studied the small topic reforms of the Harun al-Rashid. Okay. Then today we are going to the next centers of power in medieval world, the Ottoman Empire. Today we are going to discuss two topics, Ottoman Empire and Mongolia. Then first we studied the Eastern Roman Empire and the Holy Roman Empire. Then the last class we discussed about the Arabia. And this class I am going to discuss two centers of power existed in the world, medieval world. Okay. Then the first one is the Ottoman Empire. Okay. Then in the first class we already studied that I had teach you now Eastern Roman Empire. Then where was the capital of Eastern Roman Empire? Eastern Roman Empire capital was Constantinople, isn't it? Do you remember the point? Eastern Roman Empire capital was the Constantinople. Then in 1453, Constantinople was captured by the Muhammad II, isn't it? 1453, Constantinople was captured by the Muhammad II, that is the Turkish leader. So that was the capital of Eastern Roman Empire. That capital, Constantinople, was captured by Turkish leader Muhammad II. Then the Ottoman Empire was become strengthened, and many regions of the territories of the Eastern Roman, many regions of the Europe became part of the Ottoman Empire. Appa Ottoman Empire ennu parnu kazhinja and Eastern Roman Empire ആണ് later that changed into the Ottoman Empire. Eastern Roman Empire, then the capital captured by the Turkish leader Muhammad II in 1453. After that empire was known as the Ottoman Empire. Understand? Then the Ottoman Empire was founded by in 13th century. There is one tribal leader in Turkey. His name was known as the Usman and Uttaman. Usman and another it is known as the Uttaman. And then from the name itself, then the empire is renamed, that is the Ottoman Empire. The Turkey tribal leader Usman founded the Ottoman Empire. Then from his name derived the empire name Ottoman Empire. Usman and Uttaman, the two names is known as, and from the name derived the empire name is changed Ottoman Empire. Okay. Then in the Ottoman Empire, if you are saying about the studying about the Ottoman Empire, then the Ottoman Empire reached at the high position at the time of the Suleiman II. At the time of Suleiman, the Ottoman Empire reached at the high position. The administrative level and the social level and the economic level, all level, the Ottoman Empire reached at the high position at the time of the Suleiman. He was also known as the Al-Qawanin, isn't it? Al-Qawanin, Suleiman is known as the Al-Qawanin. That means that lawgiver. Al-Qawanin, that means that the lawgiver. Suleiman was known as, was called the another name Al-Qawanin. That means that lawgiver. Okay. Then he codified the Ottoman laws. Suleiman codified, he introduced the different administration in the Ottoman Empire. That is why the Ottoman Empire is reached at the high position at the time of the Suleiman. Okay, then what was the administrative reforms? First one is he codified Ottoman laws. And second one, established central administration in the empire. He established the central administration in the Ottoman Empire. Then many regions of Europe become part of the Ottoman Empire. Many regions of Europe become part of the Ottoman Empire. Okay, so if you are studying about the Ottoman Empire, how did the Ottoman Empire was formed? Then 1453, Muhammad II captured Constantinople. Then what was the importance of Constantinople? Constantinople was the capital of Eastern Roman Empire. In that topic we studied, after the emperor of Justinian, the Eastern Roman Empire then came to be declined, disintegrated after the Justinian, Emperor Justinian. So what was happened in the Eastern Roman Empire? 1453, Muhammad II captured the Turkey, the Turkish leader captured the Constantinople 1453, and then the Eastern Roman Empire became changed, and it was known as the Ottoman Empire. That is the Ottoman Empire. Turkey was founded by the Turkic tribal leader Ottoman or Usman. Two name is there, Usman and Ottoman. From the name itself derived, from that the name Ottoman was derived. Okay. Yes. Okay. Then the many territories of Eastern Roman Empire had become part of the Ottoman Empire. Then Ottoman Empire reached at the high position at the time of the Suleiman. Suleiman was known as the Al-Qanani. There is one word question always asking, what was the meaning of the Al-Qanani? What was another name of the Suleiman? Al-Qanani. It means that the lawgiver. And what was the reforms of Suleiman? He codified the Ottoman laws. He established central administration in Ottoman Empire. Then many regions of Europe become part of the Ottoman Empire. And after the Suleiman II, the Ottoman Empire become disintegrated. Then the very important incident is that after the First World War, now Ottoman Empire became disintegrated. The reason is that Britain, after the First World War, 1914, Britain captured the Turkey, Constantinople. 1914 ഫസ്റ്റ് വേൾഡ് വാറിൽ ബ്രിട്ടന്റെ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? ടർക്കി പിടിച്ചെടുത്തു. ടർക്കിയിൽ ആര് ഭരണം സ്ഥാപിച്ചു? ബ്രിട്ടൻ ഭരണം ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് തുടങ്ങി. സോ ആഫ്റ്റർ ദ ഫസ്റ്റ് വേൾഡ് വാർ ദ Ottoman Empire became disintegrated. After the First World War, Ottoman Empire disintegrated, isn't it? So if you are studying about the Ottoman Empire, the 2 point is very important. Suleiman, at the time of the Suleiman II, Ottoman Empire reached at the high position, and he was known as the Al-Qanani. That means that lawgiver. Okay. Then 1453, Muhammad II conquered Constantinople. That was the capital of Eastern Roman Empire, and established the Ottoman Empire in the Constantinople. Understand? 1453. Okay, at that time the Renaissance period started. Okay. Next is that Ottoman Empire is finished. Okay. Then once again, all of you look at the screen. Look at the map of the Ottoman Empire. Then capture of the Constantinople in 1453 CE, Turkish leader Muhammad II. The Ottoman Empire was strengthened. By then, many territories of Eastern Roman Empire had become part of the Ottoman Empire. Then Ottoman Empire reached its zenith during the time of Suleiman. Okay, then again look at the screen. Suleiman was the important leader of the Ottoman Empire, and he was known as the Al-Qanani. He codified, what was the reforms of Suleiman? He codified the Ottoman laws and established centralized administration in the empire. During this period, many regions of Europe become part of the Ottoman Empire. Thus, the Europeans realized the military strength of Asia through the Ottoman rulers. The Ottoman Empire disintegrated after the First World War. Okay, after the First World War, Britain captured the Constantinople, and Ottoman Empire became disintegrated. Okay, that is the very important medieval centers of power in the medieval world. Understand? Ottoman Empire. Okay, next was the Mongolia. Next centers of power were existed in medieval world was the Mongolia. Okay, then all of you look at the map. Mongolia. Mongolia is the region. Mongolia, all of you look at the Mongolia, that green color. Mongolia is the region between Russia and China in Central Asia. See, Mongolia is the region between Russia and China in Central Asia. Mongolia. Mongol Empire. Okay. Then Mongol Empire, the another important centers of power in medieval world was the Mongolia. Where was the location of the Mongolia? Where was the location of the Mongolia? Mongolia is the region. It is located between Russia and China in Central Asia. Okay, that is the region, Mongolia. That is the geographical location of the Mongolia. Okay. Then what was the geographical features of Mongolia? Then Mongolia is located between Russia and China. And what was the geographical features of Mongolia? Mongolia is full of vast meadows, then the desert and mountains. In Mongolia, there is vast meadows, mountains, and vast meadows and desert. That is the geographical features of the Mongolia. നിറയെ കുന്നുകളും താഴ്വരകളും ഒക്കെയുള്ള മലയിടുക്കായ ഒരു പ്രദേശമാണ് എന്ത് Mongolia. That is the important feature, geographical feature of the Mongolia. Okay. Then the climate of Mongolia is then the very severely hot in summer and extremely cold in winter. That is the climate of Mongolia. So the Mongolia is the very there is a very particular place, Mongolia. Then the geography is the vast meadows, desert, and mountains. And the climate is summer season very then the summer season very severe hot, and the winter season severe cold. That is the climate of Mongolia. Then the people of Mongolia, they were the nomads. They were always wandering through the then the like the forest area, forest and mountains and desert. All types of geographical features are there in the Mongolia. So the peoples are the peoples were the nomads. They have not particular place for living. They were the nomad. What is the meaning of nomad? They are wandering everywhere. That is the nomads. And they have no particular place for living. Wherever they are staying, they made the one tent and they lived there. And tent, there is no particular place they lived in the tent. That is the condition of the Mongolian people, the geographical condition, the climate, and then the another features of the people also. Then where is the location of Mongolia? Mongolia is the region located between Russia and China. Then what is the geographical features of Mongolia? Mongolia was the full of vast meadows, desert, and mountains. Okay. Then what is the climate of Mongolia? At the time of summer, very hot. At the time of winter, very cold. Severe hot and severe cold is the climate of Mongolia. Then people are the nomads. They are always wandering. They had no permanent house. They never live in the particular places. They made the house as the tent. They lived in the tents. That was the condition of the Mongolia. Okay. Then there is different tribes among the Mongols who always roam around on the horses, isn't it? That is a very important feature of Mongolian people. They always roamed around on horses. കുതിരയുടെ മുകളിലാണ് അവരുടെ സഞ്ചാരങ്ങൾ. Mongolian people's then the vast meadows, mountains, and desert. That is the geographical feature of the Mongolians. No, that is why maybe that is why I thought that they are they are always roam around on horses. It was the Genghis Khan who unified the Mongolian Empire. Isn't it? The Genghis Khan was the leader of the Mongolian people. He unified the Mongolian Empire. The people of Mongolia roam around on horses. Then the tribal leader Genghis Khan founded the Mongolian Empire and unified the Mongolian Empire. Okay. Then all of you look at the screen. Mongolia. Then the Genghis Khan was the important leader of the Mongolian people, and he codified the Mongolian Empire. Genghis Khan was a very important leader, tribal leader of Mongolia, and he always roamed around on horses. Mongolia. All of you look at the screen. Mongolia is the region between Russia and China in Central Asia, isn't it? It is the location of the Mongolia. It is a region characterized by the vast meadows, desert, and mountains. That is the geographical feature of the Mongolia. Second point. The third point, the climate of Mongolia is the extreme, severely hot in summer and extremely cold in winter. That is the climate of Mongolia. Then fourth point, the Mongols were nomads who lived in tents. There were different tribes among the Mongols who always roam around on horses. അതാണ് മംഗോളിയക്കാരുടെ പ്രത്യേകത. അവര് കുതിരയുടെ മുകളിൽ എപ്പോഴും സഞ്ചരിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കും. It was Genghis Khan who unified them and founded the Mongolian Empire. The seat of Genghis Khan was at Karakoram on the banks of river on in Siberia. Okay, so the leader of the Mongolian Empire was Genghis Khan. He was the tribal leader. He unified the Mongolian Empire. Then the seat of Genghis Khan, the administrative place of the Genghis Khan was at Karakoram on the banks of river on in Siberia. Very important point. The administrative center of the Genghis Khan was Karakoram on the banks of river on in Siberia. Understand? Okay. Then what was the important administrative reforms of Genghis Khan? Okay, the important reforms of administrative reforms of Genghis Khan was that there is a strong cavalry. The Mongol army was its strong cavalry, isn't it? The reforms of Genghis Khan. The Mongols army was the strong cavalry. The main feature of the Mongol army was strong cavalry. Then they arranged its multiples of 10, 100, 10, 100,000, 10,000, like that. That is the numbers of the army. The main attraction of the army was that there is a small cannons which could be used while sitting on horseback. The army was a small cannons which could be used while sitting on horseback. അതായത് നല്ല രസം, അവര് കുതിരപ്പുറത്ത് ഇരുന്ന് ചെറിയ ചെറിയ പീരങ്കികൾ, സ്മോൾ കാനൻസ്, ചെറിയ ചെറിയ പീരങ്കികൾ ഉപയോഗിക്കും. They are very familiar of using the small cannons where it at that time where it was sitting on the back of the horse, isn't it? Sitting on the back of the horse, and while sitting in the back of the horse, they were used the small cannons. They are very expert for using the small cannon. That is the very important feature of the Mongolian army. There is a multiple of the 10, and strong. They maintain, the Genghis Khan maintained the strong cavalry, isn't it? The number of the cavalry as the multiple of 10, 10, 100,000, 10,000, like that. Okay, then another important feature of the Mongolian army was that they are the very able for using the small cannons while sitting on the horseback. Okay, then Genghis Khan maintained a well-organized espionage. Espionage means that അതായത് ചാരന്മാരുണ്ടോന്ന് അന്വേഷിക്കാൻ. He organized another group for checking their everything for their then the Mongolian empire. That is one wing is formed, that is a well-organized espionage. അതായത് ഒരു ചാരവൃത്തിക്ക്, അതായത് രഹസ്യ വിഭാഗം for secret department. There is one secret department, espionage. He organized a secret department for checking the empire. The department, that army was department was known as the espionage. He maintained a well-organized espionage, isn't it? A secret department he formed for the well-being of the people, for well-being of the administration. The department was known as the espionage. Okay. Yes, okay. If you're studying the studying about the Mongolian Empire, there is a two important administration was very important. One is the courier system and another one is the postal system. So, namla chindikandada in the medieval world, then at that time they introduced the postal system and the courier system, isn't it? A medieval world, 50 to 15th century. At that time, the Genghis Khan introduced the postal system and the courier system. What is the courier system? Very speed post, isn't it? Courier. Everything is can send through the courier. So medieval period itself, Genghis Khan started the postal system and the courier system. Then what is the at that time? What was the importance of postal system? All of you look at the screen. To connect the distant places of the empire with the administrative center, the Mongolian introduced the postal system using horses, isn't it? To connect the distant places of the empire with the administrative center, for connecting the administrative center, isn't it? For connecting the distant places of the administrative center, he organized the postal system using the horse. There is a very important feature of the Mongolian Empire was they are maintaining the horses, cavalry, isn't it? So with using the horses, they maintain a good, well-established the postal system to inform the distant places of the administrative affairs. That is distant places. To informing the distant places, they use the postal system with the horses, isn't it? Then next is the courier system. All of you look at the screen. Mongolians introduced the postal system using horses. The communication system was known as the courier. The courier system of Genghis Khan was speedy and effective. And another is that the communicative system was known as the courier. Communication system was known as the courier. The courier system of the Genghis Khan was speedy and effective. So, if you are studying about the Genghis Khan, there is a three important points. One is that he maintained a strong cavalry. The second is that then the postal system and espionage. He organized a secret department. The department is the espionage for the checking the administrative power and the well-being of the people, for keeping the empire. He organized a secret department that was the espionage. Then the two important administrative reform was that postal system and a courier system. For what was the uses of the postal system? To inform the distant places about the administrative affairs, to informing the administrative affairs in the distant places, he used the postal system. Then another with the horses. Horses use the postal system. And the second important feature was that a courier system he established. The Genghis Khan established the courier system. Then courier system to communicate the faraway places. Courier system was speedy and effective, very speedily and effective to inform the administrative matters in the distant places. He used the courier system. So, three important points related to Genghis Khan. There is a strong cavalry army. Then second point is the well-organized espionage. Then third one is the postal system, and another is the courier system. Isn't it? Mongolia, and first we studied the Ottoman Empire. The Eastern Roman Empire became known as the Ottoman Empire. Then the last topic we discussed the Mongolia. Where was the location of Mongolia? Mongolia lies between Russia and China. Then what was the climate of Mongolia? A very severe hot and severe cold. Summer season very hot and winter season very cold. And what was the features of people? They were the nomads. And their what was the feature of geographical feature of Mongolia? Vast meadows, desert, and mountains. കുന്നുകളും മലകളും താഴ്വരങ്ങളും ഒക്കെ നിറഞ്ഞ ഒരു പ്രദേശമായിരുന്നു ഏത് മംഗോളിയ. The people is nomads. The people were nomads. They had no particular place to live in. They live in that tent, isn't it? Then the Genghis Khan, the leader of the Mongolian Empire, the tribal leader Genghis Khan unified the Mongolian Empire and then established the administrative power in Mongolia. Where was the seat of Genghis Khan? The Genghis Khan was seated. Administrative center of the Genghis Khan was Karakoram on the banks of river on in Siberia. Understand? Then after that, reforms of Genghis Khan, postal system, courier system, and then the one more is that espionage. That is the summary of the Mongolian Empire. Then Mongolian Empire was the another centers of power existed in the medieval world. Before that, we studied the Ottoman Empire. Then the remembering the Ottoman Empire, very important one is that Suleiman II, who established the Ottoman Empire, Muhammad II. And then who founded the Ottoman Empire, Ottoman or Usman. Then Ottoman Empire reached at the high position at the time of the Suleiman II. Suleiman II, he was known as the lawgiver Al-Khwanini. And then another is that there is many regions of Europe became part of the Ottoman Empire at the time of the Suleiman. But anyway, after the First World War, Ottoman Empire became disintegrated. അതിന് കാരണം ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞു ബ്രിട്ടൻ എന്ത് ചെയ്തു? ബ്രിട്ടൻ ഫസ്റ്റ് വേൾഡ് വാറിലെ ഒരു ശക്തിയായിരുന്നു, ഒരു പവർ ആയിരുന്ന ബ്രിട്ടൻ ആരെ പിടിച്ചെടുത്തു? കോൺസ്റ്റാന്റിനോപ്പിളിനെ പിടിച്ചെടുത്തപ്പോൾ ടർക്കി ഡിസിൻറ്റഗ്രേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് അതിന്റെ അവസാനമായി അതിന് നാമാവശേഷമായി started the beginning the disintegrated of the Ottoman Empire. Okay, then this lesson we studied the centers of power existed in the medieval world. First we studied the Eastern Roman. Again I am concluding Eastern Roman Empire, very important, Code of Justinian, and the second one Holy Roman Empire. Then the after that, Arab Empire, Holy Roman Empire, Charlemagne, reforms of Charlemagne, Arab Empire, very important one, then the Harun al-Rashid, and another one, today we studied the Ottoman Empire and Mongolian, Mongol Empire, very short topic, very easy topic, okay. And then I hope that all are followed me, okay, all of you understand the topic, okay. Today I am stopping the topic, okay. Thank you.